What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Rem Podcast, man. This is a special episode, special edition episode, which I'll be calling Remy's Rants. I mostly try to get everything done in the studio, but sometimes scheduling and stuff like that doesn't work out. So it's not gonna be no guests on here today, just me. So listen. First off, I just want to say thank you to everybody who supports the podcast and everything like that. I appreciate y'all subscribing, showing love on the gram, on Twitter, on TikTok, whatever the case may be. I appreciate everyone who's been supporting so far, and I appreciate y'all for going this long. And I apologize for the late episode. First thing I wanted to kind of get into is people always ask me kind of like, who is this podcast for? Or like, who's my intended audience? What's the goal? Whatever. Well, in terms of who this podcast is for, it's for all the people in my age range. I guess our generation would be Gen Z, I guess, because I ain't a millennial. I know I look that old, but I ain't no millennial. But the Gen Z, I guess, would be that generation. Is for them people who out there who are ambitious, who are trying to get to it, trying to find their way, especially if you're a creative, because at, certain times in life, it can be difficult to be a creative because, for the most part, you're starting out and you're not making no money doing something you're passionate about, and you got to and you find yourself in these instances where you're trying to convince the people around you to believe in it, but for the most part, if it's not something that's practical when it comes to how the money is made, people ain't looking into it. But also this podcast is for the unemployed dude who listens to this, but also has an ear out for his girl's car on the 3rd floor. And when he hear her car pull up and her car door slam, he gets up, makes the bed, make it look like he wasn't laying on the top because she made it early this morning. You weren't supposed to be laying in it, but you in it anyway. I make the podcast for people like that too. And luckily for me, I was never that dude. All the women that I dealt with were either on the 1st or 2nd floor. So anyway, let's get right into it. First things first. Young Thug. His jazzy little smart out. What do you say? His little jazzy smart mouth ass. Listen, man. That's a crazy dude, because if you would have told me when Rich Gang was at his peak, even before that, 1017 Thug, whatever, that this is what would come of all of this, I wouldn't have believed you, man. There's no way you can predict something or predict things like this happening. You know what I mean? He's on the phone with multiple people and he's just talking like this. And I think one of the biggest things we learn about any artist that comes out from prison or anything like that is just, as a fan, I just want you to do everything you can to stay out of trouble again, because obviously Thug wasn't dropping no new music while he was in jail. Nothing that captures us like the stuff he was putting out when he was free, right? But now you in these, you talk about people a certain way, and you put this out there like, and put out this image like, I stood up tall for the team, and there was a lot of y'all that didn't, and it just goes to show that it's just like, we get it. If you felt that you stood tall for the team as the leader, you shouldn't have to express that to everybody else, if you get what I'm saying. I think in terms of being a good leader, that's not a good leadership quality, to lead your people and then try to keep reminding them that you let them. And I think these calls kind of humanize Thug in a way that we as fans would have never got to see him be humanized. And what I mean by that is, a lot of us make phone calls to friends and we talk about stuff. And let's be candid, we talk about people on these phone calls. You're watching this now and you've talked about me on a phone call. Yes, you. You talked about me on the phone call, you know what I mean? And the only difference is nobody can leak yours. Thug was in a place where they can leak his, and somebody is willing to leak it in order, because not all jail calls are leaked, but this was done, I think, in order to tarnish Thug in a way, make him look bad to all the people in Atlanta, because we've heard him say Gucci was soft for becoming friends with QCP again. We heard him talk about Gunna, his little jazzy smart mouth ass, whatever. Who else did he talk about? He said the Migos weren't making no money off of QC and stuff like that. And we see him talk about these people. Man, he got on Twitter, typed out that he told Unfu to sign the plea, if I'm not mistaken, but was on the phone saying that he didn't tell him to sign that plea. And it's just one of them things like, bruh, a lot of y'all have heard somebody say something, and on the phone they say something different. And like I said, these calls getting put out, whatever the objective was to do it, I think what it did do for us as fans is humanize Thug in a way. We knew he was funny based off like IG stories and stuff like that. Everybody remembers the day with him and Future. If she ain't got no AP, I identify my bitches with APs. She don't got an AP, she for the streets, whatever. We know that side of Thug, just from a distance, but now we get to see like, oh, he just talk on the phone like all of us. Like, there's a lot of women saying like, we go T for T with Thug. Like, if he got a store, I got a store. Like, I could tell him. And yeah, it humanized him in a different, it put him in a different light, because you hear how he feels about certain things that you would have never thought he even had feelings about. He had feelings about QCP and everything, like, to the point, I didn't know that. I would have never guessed that. I would have never guessed he thought Gucci was soft. Like, you get what I'm saying? I don't know. I just think it's an explosive story. It's one of those crazy things, because yeah, man, as a fan, bro, I don't even know how to look at it. Because for me, from my perspective, being a civilian and everything, it's not my place to tell him what to do as a street nigga. That's for Thug to do, And I think one of the things I wanted to touch on, I guess, would be like, is that this street life is so glorified, but we kind of see all the same endings for people, you know what I mean? And we see the dead or in jail a lot. And then we see people just be in the streets so long that they just fall off, because that's what the streets, somebody's gonna come take your place. You feel me? And I guess my thing is to the niggas out there that's in the streets, if you listening, because the niggas don't listen to a whole lot of shit, but if you listening to this, bro, I just want you to understand that that street code that you live by, it's not written anywhere. The law is written. You can go download the laws and look them up and everything, kind of like, you can read the law. You can go find out what the law is. You can read all the laws, figure out what's illegal, what's not legal. But the street codes are more so a mutual understanding. Once you jump off this porch with us, you know what you're bound to get into. You know what to do when you get in these situations. You know how to handle it, how to carry yourself, whatever. And the problem with that being a mutual understanding, think about it like this. Laws are written. They get broken all the time. There's street niggas out there that won't break the street code, but will break the law, and then have to stand on their street code that they stand on once they get caught breaking the law. And damn, I forgot where I was going with that shit. That's my thing. That's how I was going with this. It's a mutual understanding, but you have to also understand that humans will be humans at the end of the day. And I think street niggas get this, and maybe it's because of them, but I think we kind of think of them as I think we kind of look at them beyond like a human. Like, I don't know how to describe the word, but it's like this man that you with, like street niggas, regardless of how long in the street, some of them they have families, whatever. And what you're telling this person is, when your back is against the wall, let's say they get you in this interrogation room and they asking you these questions about this crime that was committed that you're involved in, you're not involved in, this person you may know is involved in it, whatever. You're asking that human, you're hoping and praying that human, or you even, some street niggas even assume that this human that they have this mutual understanding with, when their back is against the wall, that they're going to uphold this mutual understanding. And I think what you see is that, especially with this YSL case, I'm going to do what's best for me if my back is against the wall. And the problem about people's back being against the wall, you don't know when they've hit that wall. You'll never know when somebody's back is against the wall. Like, it's safe to assume in certain situations when somebody is cornered or whatnot, but you never really know. And that's what surprises street niggas. Because this nigga might not snitch 5 out of the first 6 cases y'all catch together, but that 6th case, he just like, I can't do this no more. I don't want to do this. Now what? And, you know, street niggas politic themselves and police themselves in their own way. But think about all the niggas that did shit and kind of got away with that shit in a way. So my whole thing is just like, if you in the streets and stuff like that, I'm not here to be your daddy and tell you get out the streets and stuff, but just understand that mutual understanding you have with this nigga to uphold this code, there's no guarantee that he will uphold that code. It just doesn't make sense in some people's eyes to, like I was saying, these street codes aren't written and set in stone to the point where the human side of things don't take over. And as I was saying, when somebody's back is against the wall, the only problem is if it's not your back that's against the wall, or if it's not your back, you don't know when somebody else is feeling their back against the wall, when they start to feel like they need to start making a decision that is going to benefit them regardless of who else it hurts. You don't know when somebody has reached that point. But nonetheless, it's very entertaining. The calls with 21 Savage were entertaining. Man, Thug got on there saying he gonna drop an album, the same day gonna drop his, gonna fuck that nigga whole shit up, whatever. 21 Savage hear that, he just like, man, nigga, did you drink your water? And sometimes you just gotta ask your partner, nigga, did you drink water today? Cause you on one. You on one. But yes, nonetheless, it was entertaining. To kind of move on, let's talk about some sports stuff, man. Some big things happened in sports today, or not today. This past week, this whole off season. I'm a big football guy. I love basketball too, but I'm a big football guy. If anybody knows me, I just love sports, period. Now, we just saw Michael Parsons go from Dallas to Green Bay. Depending on what Jordan Love does, I don't know if that makes them a Super Bowl team or not. And the only reason it hurts me to say that the Packers could be a Super Bowl team is because we're in the same conference. My Falcons, my beloved Falcons, are in the same conference as the Packers. So, if the Packers get to the Super Bowl, that means we didn't. Right. But the Packers are closer to that Super Bowl bubble by adding Michael Parsons. Kenny Clark is a really good player, actually. It's just Michael Parsons is younger, and there's potential for more upside when it comes to Michael Parsons. They gave him 4 years, $188 million contract, 120 to 136 million in guaranteed. I think he's getting 62 mil the first year of this deal. So yeah, man, it's a crazy thing to see. I heard my partner was telling me earlier, like Jerry Jones must be like he must be mad he had to trade Micah and stuff like that. This just seemed like something he wanted to do. And from what I've observed about Jerry Jones, that nigga don't give a fuck. That old nigga do not give a fuck. He doesn't care. He's built on pride. He bought this team with his old money. I think they have a documentary out. I haven't watched it yet. You guys should probably tune into it. But if you're that much of a fan of the Cowboys or NFL in general, I think it's maybe informative. But that's a man with pride, and he does not care that he had to trade Micah, because in Jerry's mind, he could just find somebody to replace Micah. They've been drafting well like that for the past, and the Cowboys have been drafted well, especially first round picks. And so he's probably thinking like, man, I don't give a damn that Micah, if you want to go, you can go. And if I'm not mistaken, they only offered him like $41.5 million per year, and I think the Packers offer him $47 per year. So that's an easy decision for Michael Parsons. It's just a matter of getting the trade right when you talk about trades. Other small trades, Adam Thielen back to the Vikings from the Panthers, Nobody cares about that type of stuff. Listen, to my Falcons out there, I'm begging and I'm pleading with you, bro. I'm begging and I'm pleading with y'all, bro. Just look at me. Look in my eyes, bro. I know you can see that pain in me, man. I know you can see that pain in me. And I just want y'all to know y'all got my support. I'm loyal. I done been with y'all through y'all flaws, all y'all ups and downs. Damn it, we lost 28-3. That was damn near like a bitch leaving you at the altar. Nigga, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. And I'm just begging you, bro. Michael Penix, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan. Man, I'm counting on y'all boys, man. I don't know where my mental health goes if y'all don't get it right. I don't know where it goes. And that's a scary way to live, but it's the way I'm living. You understand me? It's the way I'm living. And it's the way I'm gonna live every year. Because this is the thing. People find out I'm a Falcons fan, they want to shit on that shit. But I know you live in Atlanta. And I know you're gonna want to go to that parade. And I done already told you, if you're not a Falcons fan, and I see you at any Super Bowl parade, I'm gonna put hands on. And anybody that knows me knows I'm not even a violent guy. I'm just a normal dude. But if you're a non-Falcons fan, you ever talk shit about the Falcons to me, and I see you at that damn parade, whether it be 2026, 2027, 2028, nigga, I don't care if I'm 72. I'm gonna send you to the Lord. You feel me? Don't talk shit about my Falcons and show up at that damn parade talking about, D for the city, D for the city. Wrong with that shit, alright? Yeah, man. Shit like this. Like, I prayed for the team that we got. Now we got a good defense. We picked well on defense. I hope it just pans out. We got Billy Bowman and Xavier Watts starting in our secondary. Both rookies. Just don't show too much that you're a rookie. We got rookie edge James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker. And I think we're going to be good. It's just... I think it's just... We just need to get the coaching side of things right. We didn't play none of our starters in the preseason, which was dumb to me. think it was an offensive starter. Doesn't really make sense, but Raheem Morris is under the Sean McVay tree, so Sean McVay started that whole don't play your starters at all in the preseason thing. And he has a Super Bowl out of it. Raheem Morris, you do not. So let's figure that part out. Back to this Thug thing. I've been hearing people, a couple of things on that Thug stuff that we kind of, listen, man. One, I want to talk about him spending $50,000 on buying streams for Gunna. And then I want to talk about, on the other tip, people talking about Atlanta rap is now dead. It's going to be dying off soon because of this. And I just want to say this. Atlanta rap will never die, nigga. Niggas still moving out here. These young niggas are actually really good, but they're in that underground. And I think a lot of us just aren't tapped in because we're not in that generation. You have to understand the way things work is, at one point, Young Thug and them was underground. Rich Homie Quan, name some people from back then. Kwani Cash, Pee Wee Longway, the Migos at one point. Stuff like that. These people were underground. And the people who are older than us, who grew up on the T.I.s and Jeezys and Gucci's and all that type of stuff, the Outkast and everything, they couldn't understand the new wave that was coming in, the new Atlanta. You get what I'm saying? They couldn't understand it. So now we in that stage where we're not necessarily understanding the people like the Prada Bag Shawties and the Non-Viciouses and the Lil Tony. But I think Lil Tony got a good buzz. The Lil Drabos, the people like that. I think we don't really understand it because we're not all the way tapped in, but we got to tap in because one, it's just Atlanta's sound. Atlanta's sound is just unique. And on top of that, we do drop a lot of lingo. We do, like, think about it, bro. Like, one of the biggest trends on TikTok is I'm so ATL. And people gonna try to tell you it means about their life. But if you ask me, nigga, it says I'm so ATL, sound like I'm so Atlanta. I seen somebody try to say it's about that life. Shut your ass up. The fact that you would even abbreviate about that life tells me all I need to know about you. You feel me? But anyway, just saying that Atlanta rap is dead because of all this, you're just mistaken. And then in terms of Thug spending $50K on buying streams for Gunna, many artists have touched on this before, and I think it's one of them things. I have to do my own research to get the full grasp of it, but I don't understand why people are necessarily upset about it, but we live in the era of social media, right? And when people drop albums, people are looking for first week sales and first day sales and all that type of stuff. Why wouldn't the artist buy the streams now? Because it's not like it's low-level artists that we're not looking at that we find out are buying streams. It's the big artists. It's the Drakes. It's the Cash XOs and the Weekends. And Nicki Minaj even said that people were paying for #1 records and all that type of stuff back in 2017 and everything. And it's just one of them things like, the game is rigged. Yes, that rigs the game. But the only way to even survive in this whole thing is to adapt. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you have to adapt. And if this person is buying streams, why not you? I know you want it to be organic, but nigga, who cares? You care. I mean, the artist cares because of the money. But as a fan, I don't care whether you buying streams or not, nigga, because you ain't have to buy mine. That's all that matters in the end, to me. To them, it's about the bottom line. It's about that check, baby. It's about that money. And, you know, they're going to do whatever they got to do whatever they got to do about that money. But yeah, man, I just don't know, man. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got engaged. I seen a black girl say, us black women need to stop putting white men on pedestals. Let me tell you something, bro. And I just seen Tik Tok like this the other day. When I find it, I'm gonna re-edit this episode one day and just add it in there and then whatever. But listen to me. When I clip this up, I'm gonna put this in there. When you ask black men why they like white women and stuff like that, niggas always come up with these fucked up excuses like, black women don't shut up, cook or clean, just want to be your baby mama and all this shit. And white women just shut up, they cook, they clean, they want to be your wife. And I know we always get on niggas for that. And we should keep putting our foots on their neck about shit like that. But what the problem is, we don't touch on the black women who will see another black woman on social media with a white man and say, my soulmate might be white. My soulmate might be white. They don't know a white nigga right now and they're willing to suck that white man's dick. You see, people talk all the time in my generation, I was born in the wrong generation. I was born in the wrong generation. And you know what? I used to be arguing with them. You damn right you're not born in the right generation. Your ass should have been out there with them slaves. Because then they could have left all the ones they was forcing themselves upon and just let you throw it back on. You so willing to do it now. Why wouldn't you be willing to do it back then? You say you was born in the wrong generation, right? You'll be the first black female slave to throw it back on the slave master. Is that what you want to be known for? Then chill out. You know what I mean? I don't think nobody should be put on a pedestal. But one thing I just need black people to do is just, if somebody asks you why you married that white person, just say, because I love him. That's my soulmate. Bruh, how do you even... And it's crazy because it's like, if anything, I learned about stepchildren, ex-wife, second wife, third wife, all that type of stuff from white people. White people do that type of stuff. You think black people were going around calling children they had out of wedlock and all this, they stepchildren? Children that married to the family, stepchildren? No, that's just their children. Like, man, we didn't come up with the stepchild term, half brother, half sibling. We didn't come up with that nonsense. The white people told us that's what it's called. And you willing to throw it back on them? You willing to stick your dick in that? You nasty. But that's beyond here nor there. I'm getting hot. I got this drink in my cup. Feeling good. But I appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode of the Big Rem Podcast. This was just a special edition of Remy's Rants. I might give y'all this about maybe once, twice a month. Just me talking off the cuff, man. Thank you again. Make sure y'all subscribe and everything. But we out.